For once, I was ahead of schedule. I had bought Christmas gifts before December even began. Carefully chosen presents for my parents, my brother Jacob, his wife Kelly, and their kids. I even got extra gifts in case someone unexpected showed up. I had a feeling that this Christmas would be different. Maybe it was just wishful thinking, but I imagined a warm holiday, full of laughter and family. But when I arrived at my parents' house, arms full of carefully wrapped presents, my mother opened the door and shattered that illusion. "We don't want you here this year." I thought she was joking. I let out a nervous laugh, expecting her to smile and say, "Gotcha!" Instead, Jacob's voice cut through from behind her. "This is no place for losers. You're really starting to wear on all of us." I stood there, stunned. My dad avoided my eyes, staring at the floor like a guilty child. My mom looked uncomfortable, but she didn't argue. And Jacob? He just stood there, smug, arms crossed, as if he had been waiting for this moment. A whirlwind of emotions hit me. Confusion, embarrassment, anger. I had been nothing but good to Jacob and his family. I had paid for his kids' school supplies, summer camps, even his mortgage when he was struggling, and yet here I was, unwanted in my own family home. I took a deep breath. Fine, I thought. If that's how you feel, I won't fight it. "Merry Christmas," I said, turned around and walked back to my car. But as I sat in the driveway, gripping the wheel, staring at the gifts on the passenger seat, something inside me snapped. No place for losers. I needed to know, where did this come from? Why was I suddenly too much for them? I left the gifts in the car and walked back to the house. I wasn't done yet. When I stepped inside, they hadn't even moved. Jacob was on the couch, scrolling through his phone like nothing had happened. "Why am I not welcome?" I asked. "What did I do?" Jacob let out a short laugh, shaking his head. "You really don't get it, do you? You've been slacking off lately. The kids have barely gotten anything from you this year." I blinked. "What? I spent hundreds on their gifts." "There's a car full of presents outside, more than anyone else." Jacob rolled his eyes. "Last year, you did more. This year, it's like you don't care. It's embarrassing for us, honestly." I turned to my parents, expecting some sort of pushback, maybe even an ounce of reason. Instead, my mom just gave me an awkward smile. "But you just bought a new car. You found money for that." I felt my stomach drop. "The car is on credit," I said, keeping my voice calm. "And even if it wasn't, how does that make me responsible for Jacob's kids? They're not mine." Jacob leaned back, smirking. "You're the one who makes the most money. Families help each other. You've always done that." And there it was. It wasn't about love. It wasn't about Christmas. It was about money. Because I had been generous before, they expected me to always be generous. And when I didn't meet their expectations, I was a loser. I looked at Jacob one last time. "Enjoy your Christmas, Jacob, and good luck with those presents, because this loser is done financing your life." I walked out and never looked back. New Year's Eve came and went in silence. No calls, no texts, nothing. For the first time in years, I spent the holidays alone. I won't lie, I almost called, almost caved. But then I remembered Jacob's sneer. No place for losers. If I was the one holding everything together all these years, then who was really the loser here? By mid-January, Kelly reached out. "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I don't agree with what happened. I appreciated it, but I told her the truth. This isn't something I can just move on from." Then in February, Jacob came knocking at my door. He looked terrible. "We need to talk." He pushed past me into my house. I crossed my arms. "Let me guess. You need money." He scowled. "Do you know how hard it's been for us since you decided to act like this? The kids barely have what they need. Kelly's trying to keep it together, but we can't do it without your help." I stared at him. "Then get a job, Jacob. It's not my problem." His face twisted in rage. "You've always helped before. Why are you being so selfish now?" I laughed. "Selfish? Let's talk about selfish. You lied to Mom and Dad about me. turned them against me, kicked me out of Christmas because I didn't spend enough on your kids. And now you're here, asking for more? I pointed at the door. I'm done. Don't call me again until you figure out how to act like an adult. Jacob stormed out. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 2 days later, I got a call from a lawyer. Kelly is my client. I nearly dropped the phone. She believes Jacob has been using the money you gave him over the years, inappropriately. I sat there, heart pounding, as the lawyer laid it all out. Jacob had a secret account. The money I gave him for bills and the kids went into that account. He spent it on gambling, luxury restaurants, and even hotels. I flipped through the bank statements in shock. All those times I bailed him out, he never needed my help. He was lying. A few weeks later, Kelly sent me a text. We're going today. She packed up, took the kids, rented a moving van. When Jacob returned, the house was empty. I got the call that night. You ruined my life, I let him rant. Then finally I said, maybe if you had spent more time being a husband and father and less time gambling, this wouldn't have happened. And then I hung up. Today, Kelly and the kids are rebuilding their lives. The kids are adjusting well to their new school, and Kelly has secured a stable job. She's finally making decisions for herself, not just surviving, but truly living. Jacob? Well, last I heard, he was still blaming everyone but himself. He hasn't reached out again, and honestly, I don't expect him to. People like him don't change until they have no choice. And me? For the first time in years, I feel free. I won't lie. There were nights I second-guessed myself. I wondered if I had been too harsh, if I should have done more to keep the peace. But then I remember all the times I bent over backward to help, only to be met with entitlement instead of gratitude. Family is supposed to lift each other up, not drag each other down. If being a loser means I finally set boundaries, if it means I finally put myself first instead of being treated like an open wallet, then yeah, I'll wear the title proudly, because I may have lost a brother. But I found myself, but in all honesty, it's no longer my problem then. If you can call it that, you have your happy ending. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.